Imagine a gun that fires a 2,700-pound shell 24 miles, a gun that requires a 45,000-ton ship built entirely around it, a gun that, when all nine fire simultaneously, generates a concussive force that can be felt and measured miles away from the ship. The United States Navy has approximately 15,000 of these shells in storage right now. The guns to fire them are in 4 museum ships, and every warship the Navy has built since 1992 is physically incapable of carrying even one. Not because the guns are outdated, not because the ammunition has deteriorated, not because the Navy forgot how they worked, because the ship that carries a 16-inch gun has to be built around it, and no ship the Navy currently operates was built for anything except missiles. This is the story of why the most effective naval gun America ever put to sea cannot go to sea again, and why the $22 billion program designed to replace what it did ended with the replacement guns being removed and junked. By the end of this video, you will understand the specific engineering reasons the Iowa's guns are impossible on a modern warship, and why the Navy's 30-year attempt to replace them has cost billions and produced nothing. Stay with me, because the numbers are considerably more specific than most people realize. The reason modern cruisers cannot carry the Iowa's guns is not because the technology is obsolete. It is not because the ammunition is gone. It is not because nobody has tried. It is because a 16-inch gun requires a ship built entirely around it. The turret, the barbette, the magazines, the structural reinforcement, the crew, every element of the Iowa's design was shaped by those 9 guns. You cannot remove the guns from the Iowa and put them on something else. You have to build the something else around the guns. No modern warship was built that way, and here is why that matters. Start with displacement. The Iowa class displaced 45,000 tons, roughly the weight of 45,000 family cars stacked together. That number was not chosen arbitrarily. The guns drove it. The 3 gun turrets, the barbettes, the ammunition hoists, the magazines, the structural reinforcement required to absorb the recoil, all of it added up to a ship that had to be that large to function. The Navy's current surface combatants are a fraction of that size. The Ticonderoga-class guided missile cruiser, the largest surface warship in the U.S. fleet aside from carriers, displaces approximately 9,600 tons. That is roughly 1/5 of an Iowa's displacement. The R. Lee Burke-class guided missile destroyer, the backbone of the surface fleet, displaces approximately 9,000 tons. Here is the detail that reframes everything. The barbette of a single Iowa gun turret, the armored cylinder that supports and surrounds the turret's rotating mechanism below deck, has an inside diameter of 39 feet 4 inches. A single barbette is 2/3 the beam of an R. Lee Burke destroyer. A ship whose entire width from portside to starboard is 59 feet would have a single gun turret foundation occupying 39 of those 59 feet, and the turret extends 5 decks below the main deck. The magazine spaces, the shell handling rooms, the powder handling rooms, the hoisting mechanisms, everything required to load, aim, and fire a 16-inch gun lies below the main deck, not on it. Modern destroyers and cruisers simply do not have that structural depth. The internal architecture is completely different. They were designed for missiles, radar systems, and electronics, not for the vertical infrastructure a battleship gun requires. Here is where it gets genuinely strange. The Iowa's 9 guns required a specific kind of ship construction that is now completely absent from American naval architecture. The ships were built with heavy structural members, specifically rated for the recoil forces produced by a broadside. When all 9 guns fire together, the lateral force they generate is extreme enough to be measured miles away from the ship. The Iowa's hull was engineered to absorb that force without structural compromise. Modern warships are built from different materials and to different tolerances. The superstructures of modern cruisers and destroyers use aluminum alloy components to reduce topside weight. Aluminum has significant advantages in a modern warship. It is lighter, easier to work with, and adequate for the structural loads those ships are designed to carry. It is not compatible with the blast effects and recoil forces of a 16-inch gun firing in proximity. Beyond the structural problem, modern warships are dense with sensitive electronics throughout: radar systems, combat management computers, communications equipment, fire control systems. The concussive effect of a 16-inch broadside would damage or destroy electronics throughout a ship that has no structural isolation between its gun systems and its combat systems. The Iowa was designed with that isolation built in. Modern ships were not designed for it because they were not designed for guns of that size. And then there is the crew question. The Iowa class operated with a crew of approximately 2,700 people. A significant portion of that crew existed specifically to operate, maintain, and supply the gun systems. The current Arleigh Burke destroyer operates with a crew of approximately 330. The Ticonderoga cruiser runs on approximately 400. Modern naval architecture is built around the assumption that fewer people operate more automated systems. The 16-inch gun was the opposite of that assumption. It required large crews working in confined spaces under dangerous conditions. None of this is a criticism of modern warships. They are designed for what they are designed for. The problem is that what they are designed for is fundamentally different from what a battleship gun requires. If you're finding this as fascinating as I am, go ahead and hit the like button. It helps more people find this channel, and there is one more part of this story that changes how you see everything that came before it. The Navy understood all of this when it retired the Iowa class in 1992. It also understood the gap that retirement created. The Iowa's 16-inch guns had provided something no other weapon system in the American inventory could replicate: sustained, heavy, accurate naval gunfire against shore targets at ranges of up to 24 miles. When the Marines wanted to assault a defended beach, the Iowa's guns could silence coastal defenses for hours at a rate of 2 rounds per gun per minute. Cruise missiles could hit individual targets at greater range, but a single Tomahawk cost far more than a single 16-inch shell and could only be fired once. The Iowa's guns could fire all day. After 1992, the Navy had no equivalent capability. The largest gun on any American surface warship became the 5-inch Mark 45 mounted on destroyers and cruisers, a weapon with approximately 1% of the shell weight of the 16-inch gun and a fraction of the range. The Navy spent 30 years trying to bridge that gap. In the early 2000s, the service designed the DDG-1000 Zumwalt-class destroyer, a next-generation warship built specifically around the advanced gun system, a 155mm weapon intended to fire GPS-guided shells, called long-range land attack projectiles, to a distance of approximately 80 miles. 32 ships were planned. The advanced gun system was the primary reason for the program. It was supposed to restore the shore bombardment capability the Iowa's retirement had eliminated, at a cost that modern warfare could sustain. 3 ships were built. The ammunition for the advanced gun system was canceled in November 2016 before meaningful quantities could be produced. The problem was economics. With only 3 ships in the class, instead of the 32 originally planned, the cost of producing ammunition in small batches was unsustainable. Each long-range land attack projectile round cost between $800,000 and $1 million to manufacture. The Navy canceled the program rather than continue paying it. The Zumwalt-class destroyers entered service carrying the advanced gun system. They had no ammunition for it. The weapons that had justified the entire program sat in place, unused, while the Navy evaluated alternatives that never materialized. In 2024, the Navy began removing the advanced gun systems from all 3 Zumwalt ships. The turrets that had been the reason for the program's existence were taken out. The space they occupied is being converted to carry hypersonic missiles. Here is what the gap between the Iowa's guns and everything that followed actually represents. When you look at the engineering record plainly, the Iowa's 16-inch guns could deliver sustained, heavy fire against shore targets at 24 miles. They were built into ships designed entirely around that capability. The ships were retired in 1992 because they were expensive to maintain, and their conventional gun missions had been partly supplanted by cruise missiles. The capability disappeared with them. Every attempt to restore that capability since then has failed on the same problem. The economics of producing specialized ammunition in small quantities make the cost per round prohibitive. The Iowa's shells were manufactured in enormous quantities over decades and stockpiled. The system that accumulated those 15,000 shells still in storage is gone. Producing new 16-inch ammunition would require gearing up production lines for a weapon that has no ship to fire from. The $22 billion Zumwalt program produced 3 ships. Those ships are now being converted into hypersonic missile platforms. The guns are gone. The Navy's current answer to the shore bombardment problem is the Tomahawk cruise missile at approximately $1.5 million per shot, a capability with genuine precision and range advantages over the Iowa's guns, but no ability to sustain the kind of prolonged, high-volume fire that pre-assault bombardment requires. A Tomahawk delivers 1 strike at 1 target. The Iowa's guns delivered sustained fire, 2 rounds per gun per minute, at the rate of 18 rounds per minute for all 9 guns. Nothing in the current American fleet can do that. Nothing in the planned American fleet is being built to do it. The Iowa class are in 4 harbors: USS Iowa in Los Angeles, USS New Jersey in Camden, USS Missouri at Pearl Harbor, 500 yards from the Arizona, USS Wisconsin in Norfolk. The 15,000 shells in storage are being evaluated for demilitarization and disposal. The Navy has no plan to produce new ones. The most effective naval gun America ever built sits in museums. The $22 billion program built to replace it removed its guns before they ever fired in combat. The only weapon in the world designed to do what the Iowa's guns did is aimed at a harbor it will never leave. What surprised you most about why the Iowa's guns can never go to sea again? Drop it in the comments. I read every one. Thanks for watching. If you want the real stories behind the engineering decisions and unexpected turns that shaped the most famous warships ever built, subscribe. New video every week, and the next one is already stranger than you would expect.